Hi guys, and on number 2 under the types of sin, we're going to talk about iniquity. Last time we talked about transgression, so if you didn't see it, I'll try to do a card up in the corner. Okay, so iniquity is here. This is the original study I did when I was studying it for the class. So iniquity, an act inherently wrong, whether expressly forbidden or not. Romans 1:21 through 23. Because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were they thankful, but became vain in their own imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into the image made like the corruptible man, and the birds, and the four-footed beasts, and creeping things. So, the first thing I think about when I read these verses, it makes me, every time I read it, it makes me think, that's today. That is just, they want to change everything because they don't want to, they can't read the King James Version. Now, I know a lot of people read other versions, but King James should be your main go-to. It's the closest thing I found to the original text when I did studies. There's one other as well that they say is good, and I'm sorry, I've forgotten the name of it. But this is the one that's closest. And yes, it can be, but if you read through it a couple of times, you can get it. So when I think about the fact that they're changing the word like that, it makes me think, well, they think they're smarter than God, that they need to change his word for people to understand. But God doesn't make it so you can understand it. Because there's some passages I read and I think, I'm never going to get it. And then one day when I'm calm and I've prayed about it and I've thought about it, God reveals it to me. Or I'll go to a sermon and they'll just happen to be preaching on it. So there's a lot of ways to gain wisdom from his word without using versions that take things out of it. The second thing, they became professing themselves wise. So many people today are all puffed up because how much they know. But it says they became fools because they're not following God. They're relying on worldly wisdom. And worldly wisdom doesn't get you to heaven, does it? God's word teaches us about what we need to know to get to heaven. Worldly wisdom says that the world was created by a big bang. Well, I'm sorry. My creator is God, and he created the world. So those are the kinds of things that I think of when I read this. And change the glory of the uncorruptible God into the image made like a corruptible man. And then it goes on to say birds, and because they're worshiping people, humans and animals, birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things, rather than worshiping their creator. So this is iniquity, and inherently wrong, whether expressly forbidden or not. God may not spell it out in some place, or he does and we just didn't read something one time or another. But we have to be really careful. And my little side note says iniquity equals perversion of heart. Our heart's not for God, it's for ourselves or the world or idols. And it says Psalms 32, 1 and 2. It says, blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven. And remember, the transgression last night is overstepping. Here's God's side, here's the world side. So you think, that little thing won't hurt. I'll just put my little finger over there and do that one little thing. It won't hurt anything. But that's what a transgression is. Yeah. Go over and you do that little thing thinking, it won't hurt anything. But it does, and it hurts you, yourself, when you do it. Blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven, and you know where forgiveness comes from, whose sin is covered. Blessed is a man unto whom the Lord imputeth an iniquity, and whose spirit there is no guile. And I think, I want to have a spirit of no guile. Do I get upset about stuff? Yeah. I don't know anybody who doesn't. But I do want to strive to live closer to Him every day. Not overstepping and making sure that I'm giving honor and glory to the Lord in every way, not me. So number 3 is error. And we'll do that one in the next one. Bye-bye. See you in the next one.